Hey guys, Coupon to Provide here, and today I'm coming at you with a Dollar Tree washi storage DIY using very basic supplies. The one thing that I love about this organizer is that you can actually use it on your desktop, or you could even hang it on the wall, and it only costs a couple of bucks to make. The instructions are super simple, so let's go ahead and dive right in. We're going to start with an 11 by 14 frame, and we're going to begin gutting that by taking the glass out. You're going to keep the cardboard backing and cover it with some decorative something like shelf liner or cardstock or anything like that. You can also find the shelf liner at the Dollar Tree, and they have a ton of varieties. I'm going with pink because it actually matches the theme in my YouTube room. You're just going to use the cardboard as a cut guide and trim around the sides. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and take your adhesive and layer it on to the inside of the actual cardboard. So far, super simple, I know. Next, we're going to go ahead and take the actual frame piece. Now, the measurement that we're going to cut is most likely going to match what measurement the frame is. For example, this is an 11 by 14, so this side is an 11-inch side. We're going to take some project poster board. I have a ton of scrap board, which is perfect for the video because I can fit it into the frame. But they also have a huge project poster board at the Dollar Tree for $1, so feel free to stock up. And I'm going to go ahead and take my largest roll of washi, and that is going to give me the size that I want to cut as far as the width from front to back for each one of the shelves. And I'm going to refer to them as shelves because they're going to be shelves in this tiny unit. So I am cutting mine 2.5 inches. That means that the top, bottom, left, and right side are all going to be equal widths of 2.5 inches. I'm going to be cutting them 11 inches long because, again, the frame is 11 by 14, hence 11 inches long. And we are going to be making two identical cuts because we're going to need a piece for the top and for the bottom. Next, we're going to do the same exact thing with the measurements and the cut style. We're going to measure the length of the frame on the other sides, which, of course, the frame measurement is 11 by 14, so this one's going to be 14 inches long as well, 2.5 inches wide, because we want them to be identical to the other two pieces that we cut. Now, definitely keep in mind that just like any other picture frame, you can make this frame into a tall display or you can make it into a short and wide display. It's totally up to you. And there you have it, guys. We have our two 2.5 inch by 14 inch pieces and our two 2.5 inch by 11 pieces, which are going to be the top and bottom, left and right sides. Now, don't forget to plug in your hot glue gun so that it heats up while you decorate your frame. Now, this part is totally optional and you could use whatever you like. If you want to spray paint it, go ahead and do that. You can use some duct tape or washi like I am doing. I'm simply going to take some washi tape and wrap it around all the sides of the frame. Now the next part is optional. You can go around and pull out the little prongs that are in the side of the frame. You don't actually need a tool for this because they are pressed foam, so you could easily just get a good grip on them and yank them out and they'll come out just fine. But I'm going to take them out just to make sure that they don't obstruct the nice clean line that I am going for when I put the poster board in with the hot glue. Now you remember to plug in your hot glue gun, right, when I said? So now we're going to go ahead and take our hot glue gun and begin putting the cardboard pieces in place. It's super simple not to mess this up. The only thing you want to make sure that you do is that you put the colored side in the direction that you want it facing. I wanted the side walls of the display to be white, so I made sure to put the white side of the cardboard facing inward in the frame. The brown part will be facing outward, which is fine because we're going to go through and cover that later. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take some duct tape and wrap it around the sides of the frame. To me, I feel like using duct tape to do this actually makes the structure one structured piece, which makes it more durable. It's less likely to collapse or fall apart because it's all stuck together as if it were one piece. Also, Dollar Tree does sell duct tape in gorgeous decorative patterns, so definitely keep an eye out there. Also, the more tape, the better, so feel free to just keep on wrapping it. Now that that's done, you're going to go ahead and grab the backing board and you're going to put it decorative side inward on the frame. You're going to take your hot glue and begin hot gluing it in place. The reason you want to do this is just so that it doesn't shift as you cover it with the duct tape. Quick tip when using hot glue: if you want a nice, clean, flat surface after you've applied your hot glue, you want to run the tip of the hot glue over the glue surface and kind of make it flat and clean. It'll melt it down as you rub it over because the tip is hot, so you will get a nice, clean, flat line. Once it's dry, you can go ahead and get your duct tape and finish off the wrapping of the frame. Now this time you want half of the piece of duct tape to go onto the frame that you made and half of it to go on the backing. Again, this is just going to bring those pieces together and make it one structured piece. Once that's done, you can kind of see what we're going for here. We're trying to create a nice deep shadow box that we can fit our shelves across in. So now we're going to go ahead and start cutting out the pieces of project board for our shelves. And remember that the size of the actual box is 2.5 inches wide on each side. So each one of our shelves are going to be 2.5 inches wide. Now the length across is 11 inches, but we're going to need a little bit more than 11 inches so that we could create feet to attach our shelves to the sides or the walls, of the inside of the box. The size of the extra pieces for the feet really doesn't matter because it's going to fold over down the side anyway, and you'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and cut out multiple pieces, and I would definitely suggest cutting 1 or 2 extra because you really never know how much space you're going to take up with each one of the shells until you actually put them in and start playing with them. So definitely keep that in mind so that the work is already done for you. Also, keep any scrap strips that you have because those might come in handy later. The measurement of the inside of the box was about 10 3/4 of an inch. So what I'm going to do is take the full measurement and divide the difference by the left and right side. And that's going to give me the little feet that I need to adhere the shelf to the side of the box. Now, to save time and work, instead of measuring the distance on every single one of the shelves, I'm simply putting the measurement on the top one and the bottom one and setting them all up in a straight line. And I'm going to cut a hairline cut into the top layer of the cardboard, not all the way through. Do not be heavy-handed with this part. You're going to do it on both sides, and once you lift it, you'll be able to pop the feet down, and you'll see exactly what I mean in just a second. Now you see a little bit of what I'm talking about. Now we're going to go ahead and begin putting the shelves inside of our box. This is going to give you an idea of what we are going for. As you can see, you have the little feet on the left and right side of the shelf, which is where you're going to put your hot glue, which is already connected by this point, and it's going to hold the shelf in place. Now, if you're not going to put a lip on the front of the shelf, then you want to make sure that you tilt your cardboard shelves upward on the front so that the tape will roll towards the back. Now, all you're going to do is take your largest roll of washi and begin playing with the placement of the shelves. You just want to get a general idea of how much spacing you're going to have in between, because this is going to give you an idea of how many shelves you're going to have in place. Going shelf by shelf, you're going to go ahead and get it in place, make it as level as you can, and you're going to go ahead and glue down the feet one by one. Then you're going to go ahead and do the same exact thing to all your shelves in your box. Quick note, I actually made sure to tilt all of my shelves upward on the front, downward in the back, just to give it a little tilt so that the rolls will stay rolling towards the back. And you're going to do this for every single shelf. Now also, I did leave a little extra space on two of the shelves so that if I did have larger washi, I could have a place that could accommodate those large rolls. Now this next part is going to be a couple of minutes of repetitive footage, kind of showing you what I'm doing throughout the process, but I felt like it was kind of important so you could see what I do to get the different measurements and the different spaces and kind of get a feel for what it is that I'm doing so that you can get a clear understanding instead of cutting out a lot of the footage. Now that that part is done, we're going to go ahead and begin cutting the slits for the front lip of each one of the shelves. It's super simple. All you need is a very thin strip of the poster board, and you're going to be hot gluing this in place. And you don't want it to be too wide because it's going to take up too much of the actual air open space that you're going to need to have the washi to be able to go in and out of that space. Next, all you're going to do is take one of your thin strips, add some hot glue into the corners of each one of the shelves, and this is just going to make sure that your strip stays in place and doesn't fall every time you try to put it in place. And then you're going to add some hot glue to the top part of the strip so that you could pull it up against the inside of the frame. It does not have to sit completely onto the edge of each one of the shelves. You just want it to be in the front, and all you have to do is adhere it on both ends. Once you have all your strips in place, we can go ahead and begin covering up the feet that are showing on the inside of the display. Now, typically this probably wouldn't bother me too much, but because this was scrap poster board from another project, it had some really bright yellow duct tape on the bottom half. So all I did was take some washi that is coordinated to the front decorative look, and I just covered up the feet with that same washi on both sides to make it look a little bit nicer. Now, just like with any other shelves, you want to make sure that you add some support to the center of each one of the shelves. So all I'm going to do is take another piece of scrap poster board, add some double-sided tape, and I'm going to cut them into little strips. These little strips are simply going to go on the back wall of the box in the center of each one of the shelves. Underneath, so that way whenever I put all of the washi on there, if it wants to buckle a little bit, it has that little cardboard strip there to support it. Now you can get a little detailed with this and cover it with the same adhesive liner that you used on the back poster or on the back frame piece, but I really didn't care, so because it's going to be covered with washi anyway. But if it bothers you, you can definitely cover it up with the same adhesive liner. Now, to add a base piece to stand the frame up, you want to take a piece of the cardboard and wrap it in duct tape. Then you're going to take either your thick double-sided adhesive or double-sided tape, or you can use your hot glue, and you're going to put it on one side of the strip. You're going to take that strip and set it on the back side on the base of the frame so that it could have a lip to stand up, just like any picture frame would have, but this is just going to be along the bottom. So this is what it should look like. It should have your hooks to hang since it is a frame, and it will have your long strip on the back to make it a desktop stand. Super simple. Now, this one was actually recorded after I did the video because I've been working on my office, but let's go ahead and take a look at how much washi this thing can really hold. And that's pretty much it, guys. Your very own wall or desktop organizer for your washi that can hold well over 100 washi depending on what size you are storing for under $2. And the awesome part is you still have poster board left over for either multiple displays or other projects. So I definitely give this project a thumbs up myself. I really do hope that I inspired you guys to think inside the shadow box. And if you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Google+, and my Facebook group at Coupons Provide. And don't forget, guys, keep couponing. Bye.